Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Tobago. This week we're at Le Coterie Villa. This modern-style, inviting property in the Lowlands community is our location for today's episode of Let's Talk Tobago. Stay with us for the next half hour as we show you all this property has to offer, as well as highlights of the major events happening right here in Tobago. I'm Davia Chambers, and here are this week's headlines. Tobago is taking tourism to new heights with the launch of its new tourism brand. The island is seeking to maximize on opportunities at the World Travel Market in London. The public sector gets some timely updates on its procurement procedures, and later, credit unions are encouraged to keep investing in the island's future leaders. These stories and more when Let's Talk Tobago returns.
Times. Summer car done, summer car, 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 summer car done, yeah, summer car.
A short drive into the Tobago Plantations estate brings you to Le Coterie Villa, in the middle of this quiet housing community. Now, it's got the look of a townhouse along with all the comforts of a home. So tourism is also the focus of our first story. The island is boosting the tourism sector with a new brand strategy that seeks to take advantage of Tobago's best attribute, its unspoiled natural beauty. Omadara Mills explains how the authorities are planning to revitalize the industry in this report. Have a look.
Experience Tobago in a whole new way. That's what the newly rebranded tourism sector is inviting visitors to do, with more than 100 activities to enjoy on the island. The fresh new logo is a reflection of this invitation. Tobago has also revamped its marketing strategy, which was unveiled at a recent go-to-market strategy launch hosted by the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited.
We have now a graphic way of presenting Tobago, and that is different. It's a radical departure of sort from what your typical tourism destination would do. We also have used an iconic silhouette to represent the imagery, and within it is a collage of pictures that represents Tobago's attributes. So that is going to be the signature format for presenting the destination.
Research shows that Tobago is unspoiled, undiscovered, and untouched. So the natural focus for the agency is on areas like eco-adventure and nature, seas and beaches, culture and heritage, and romance and weddings. Mr. Lewis says these niches are all encompassed in the logo's tagline, Tobago Beyond Ordinary.
It's a command as well as an invitation, and there's a play on the word Tobago, so it's Tobago Beyond. Now, in marketing terms, the suggestion is that you say Tobago Beyond and you allow the client or the prospective visitor to interpret it in a positive way. So that is where the imagery is there to support the request.
The agency falls under the Division of Tourism, Culture and Transportation, and the Tourism Secretary Nadine Stewart Phillips says that the visitor experience on the island must match the new tagline.
If we are to be beyond ordinary, as our marketing message positions Tobago, then the quality of our accommodation, sites and attractions, service delivery, and our hospitality towards visitors have to be similarly beyond ordinary. There can be no gaps between our invitation to visitors, the expectations we create, and the service we deliver.
The agency will place emphasis on digital marketing. The island's brand and attractions will be showcased in traditional source markets as well as tourism trade shows around the world. I'm Omadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Tobago Beyond Ordinary is the new brand for the island's tourism sector. It's already hit the international stage at this year's World Travel Market, and we have the highlights in this report. Have a look.
Well, what we did today was launch the new brand and go-to-market strategy for Tobago. The brand is a feature of the iconic representation of the 101 things to do in Tobago, and it is built on a research strategy that involves programmatic marketing as well as the social media strategy. The response has been very encouraging. We have here with us today a number of tour operators, travel agents, press persons, and the reaction to the brand has been quite positive. There are people who are familiar with the destination who think that it's a perfect representation. With the decision to increase our penetration into the international markets, we sought to develop a marketing strategy for the destination. And what we did was scrape the web using some software and utilizing a UK-based firm to find out what are people saying about Tobago. We also discovered within that search that there are about 1.7 million people who are searching for Caribbean options without a destination in mind. So we decided, okay, let's get into that configuration and serve them, options and opportunities for vacations in Tobago.
Tobago as a destination is naturally unspoiled and untouched, with that added feature of unique and culinary experiences. There is nowhere else in the world you can experience a crab and boat racing.
I think it's natural beauty and natural design. And when that is coupled with the hospitality of the people, they come together to form an irresistible package.
Le Coterie can accommodate up to 8 guests. It's got 3 spacious ensuite bedrooms, each with its own private balcony. The villa is air-conditioned throughout with optional laundry and maid services. Now I have a question. What would you do after your home was damaged by fire or a natural disaster? Well, one organization is helping a number of Tobagonians get back on their feet. We've all the details in this story. Have a look. 30 families and 5 organizations across Tobago received a total of $1 million from the National Commission for Self-Help recently. This grant will help the recipients to improve their living conditions. They received their checks at this ceremony.
The categories are as follows. Minor repair reconstruction grant, 8 at a total of $120,000. Fire victims, 11 at a total of $275,000. Natural disaster victims, 200,000. 8 people, at a total of 200,000. And NGOs, 405,000, bringing it to a total of $1 million. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, this is the largest distribution since 2009.
The Commission was established to improve and transform lives through micro and macro infrastructural development. It aids deserving people and motivates communities to become self-sufficient.
We help to empower you so that you in turn can empower yourselves, especially as we live in times of unpredictable weather conditions.
A memorandum of understanding between the National Commission for Self-Help and the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and the Environment has been proposed. It will forge a partnership between the two bodies supporting development on this island.
The National Commission for Self-Help will provide the material for a project, and the division will provide the labor component. This initiative will assist in reduced project costs, the building of stronger communities, and the improvement in the overall standard of living for Tobagonians.
Grant recipients got $15,000 each for minor reconstruction repairs. Those affected by natural disasters and fire got $25,000 each. This was the first distribution of grants for 2018. It's time for a break, but coming up next, Tobago's midwives are getting training that's geared towards improving service. Stay with us, we'll be right back. The backyard at La Coterie Villa is a nature lover's paradise. This furnished decking is complemented by a plunge pool and leads out to this small garden that comes with its own freshwater pond. So Trinidad and Tobago has introduced procurement legislation that's designed to increase accountability and transparency in the public service. Tobago hosted a workshop to update public officers on the requirements of the legislation. Here's more.
The public service has strict guidelines for acquiring or disposing of equipment, such as computers, printers, fax machines, and even vehicles. The Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Property Act 2015 was established to make these procedures more transparent and effective. And at a recent workshop, public employees, secretaries, and administrators of the Tobago House of Assembly got a better understanding of the Act.
The Public Procurement Act governs the process of public procurement and retention and disposal of public property. It also establishes the Office of Procurement Regulation and repeals the Central Tenders Board Act. Underpinning the Act are principles of good governance, fairness, equity, accountability, transparency, integrity, and value for money.
The Office of Procurement Regulation, the OPR, is the independent body that will oversee procurement in all public institutions. It reports only to the Office of the Parliament. The OPR develops regulations and guidelines for the receipt of tenders, the award of contracts, and the purchase and the disposal of public property. It will also investigate suspected breaches of the Act.
The OPR has the power to audit and review the system of procurement and disposal of public property to ensure compliance with the objectives of the Act, and also to investigate on its own initiative or upon complaint from any party in public procurement or disposal of public property.
The OPR will also compile a database of suitable contractors and keep records of disqualified contractors. Chairman of the Procurement Board, Munilal Lalchan, says the OPR also has a developmental role.
We'll have a body of pre-qualified persons within those regions that you can call on. So that's the first thing. So you don't call somebody from Port of Spain who you know is an established contractor and send them down to Rio Claro to do a job that somebody is qualified for in Rio Claro to do.
The Office of Procurement Regulation will continue to collaborate with the THA. Its goal is to ensure that there is accountability and transparency in public procurement in Tobago. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
The design at Le Coterie is modern with an open floor plan that leads from the kitchen into the dining and living area. There's also easy access to the backyard if you'd like to lounge outdoors. Now this, Tobago's health sector continues to make strides in providing quality health care for everyone on the island. Recently, obstetrics staff attended a special workshop to update their training. Here are the details in this report.
Midwifery and obstetrics focus on care during pregnancy and labor. So it's important that midwives stay up to date with advances in their field. The Tobago Regional Health Authority's Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology, along with professionals from the United Kingdom, recently held a training workshop for the island's midwives. So far, the opportunity has been well received.
This is a good effort. It's a great effort that we are sitting here having continued professional training. We must say thank you, team from the UK. Let this be a stepping stone, a further stepping stone to us doing collaborative training. Let us put our hearts and minds together to put Tobago at the forefront.
The workshop combined lectures and practical interactive sessions. This is to ensure the midwives get hands-on training they can apply daily.
This year, the WHO theme for Midwifery Week was Midwives Leading the Way in Quality Care. This morning is a clear example that the midwives in Tobago are in fact living out this theme.
The sessions took place over the course of 3 days. Doctors also had the chance to refresh their knowledge on midwifery and obstetric practices.
Midwifery care is not separate from obstetric care. The midwives are equally as important in their roles in providing care to pregnant women as the doctors. And we are hoping that the teamwork that is displayed in this department spreads to the other departments of the hospital.
This was the second educational and training session held in Tobago for midwives. The first took place in 2016. I'm Kern De Freitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
A short walk away from the villa, there are nature trails and a canopy walk through a mangrove forest. They're all just waiting for you to come and enjoy. Now, mercury poisoning is a very important health and sustainability issue globally. So Tobago's students are getting involved by learning more about what they can do to combat this challenge. More in this story from Kern De Freitas.
Mercury, the elemental substance, is a potent neurotoxin and a pollutant that knows no borders. Mercury pollution from halfway across the globe can find its way into your local lake or the fish at your grocery store. It's a serious health hazard, especially for children and pregnant women.
Okay, so mercury is a global pollutant. So mercury is a toxic chemical element that exists naturally in our Earth's crust, and when it's released into the environment, it persists for generations. So it cycles between air, land, water, and it has no boundaries. So once it's released into the environment, it doesn't go away.
Mercury can have serious health consequences. It can affect your behavior and neurological functions, and in extreme cases, it can be fatal. It even impacts fetal development.
Pregnant women are actually the most vulnerable group because it's the fetuses inside that get that badly affected by mercury. So it's their learning ability, the development of their brain. That is what gets affected with the mercury.
There are three major sources of mercury globally. Mining, especially gold mining, where substantial mercury releases into the environment are routine. Airborne mercury, especially through the burning of coal. It can travel great distances before being deposited in waterways. Finally, once mercury enters our waterways, bacteria can absorb it and convert it to a more toxic form, methyl mercury. Methyl mercury then enters the food chain through fish, which is transported worldwide.
We don't have to worry about this in Trinidad and Tobago because we don't participate in artisanal, small-scale gold mining. But the thing is, with mercury, once it's released into the environment, it travels. So someone across the world, they will be practicing ASGM, and we would get affected. There's other processes, such as chloralkali production or oil and gas production, bauxite mining, that uses mercury in their processes and release it to the atmosphere.
This workshop was hosted by the Tobago House of Assembly's Division of Infrastructure, Quarries, and the Environment. I'm Kern De Freitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
It's time for another break, but when we return, Credit Union Month closes with a dinner and an awards ceremony. Stay with us, Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back.
They say it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters the most. And in the face of disaster, chaos, and panic, it is the Tobago Emergency Management Agency's comprehensive emergency response plans that will matter most to Tobago. This agency's modernized approach to emergency management is driven by technology, powered by networking, focused on community resilience, open to partnering, enhanced through training, and led by a highly competent and dedicated staff. This has positioned them as one of the premier disaster management agencies in the region and earned them Trinidad and Tobago Diamond Standard certification. Congrats, TEMA, Tobago Emergency Management Agency.
At Le Coterie, nature as well as the island's nightlife is just minutes away. Whether you'd prefer pristine beaches, the bustling capital of Scarborough, or the exciting nightlife of Crown Point, all you have to do is choose a destination. Now, Credit Union Month closed recently, with the island hosting a number of activities to highlight the occasion. On the final night, Tobago's cooperatives were reminded that they've got a key role in Tobago's development. We have all the details in this story. As the curtains were brought down on Credit Union Month 2018, the Tobago Regional Chapter hosted an awards ceremony to recognize members who have excelled in entrepreneurial activities. 5 members from various credit unions around Tobago were acknowledged. Secretary of Finance and the Economy, Assemblyman Joel Jack, is encouraging the credit unions to continue to assist the Assembly in diversifying Tobago's economy.
Credit unions, you no doubt can play a significant role in assisting us to foster entrepreneurial activities on the island and thereby diversifying the island's economy. I urge you, therefore, to continue to work towards providing great opportunities for your members to get involved in entrepreneurial activities.
And the president of the Cooperative Credit Union League of Trinidad and Tobago, Joseph Remy, is urging the credit unions to continue to listen to the recommendations of young members. He says the youth will continue the legacy of the credit union movement in this country.
A kind of happiness in terms of their articulation to us and constructive criticism in terms of the way forward for the movement, because it is critically important for us to be aware of what they are thinking, because they have to be the ones who will carry on this legacy into the future.
The Tobago Regional Chapter hosted the conclusion of Credit Union Month. International Credit Union Day was celebrated on October 18th. Le Coterie is just the start of your next vacation. While you're here, it's the perfect opportunity to plan your next adventure, whether it's snorkeling, scuba diving, water sports, hiking, bird watching, or immersing yourself in the island life. Now, in our final story, Tobago's students are learning about the options they will have for tertiary education once they complete their exams. They attended the Tobago College Fair 2018, as you'll see in this next story from Crystal George.
Study abroad programs help you experience the world as your classroom. They can open your eyes to new cultures, languages, and even history and heritage. They also open the doors to personal growth and discovery and stretch the perimeters of your comfort zone. It's an option the island students explored at Tobago College Fair 2018.
The whole goal and the vision for study abroad was to help students who want to study abroad. Okay, but also we realized there's a team of us that does work together. But one of the things that we found was critical was the information was not there for students.
So, how does it work if you want to study in the United States?
First, you work with the universities and you get accepted. Once you get accepted, then you have to get a visa, and you come to the U.S. Embassy to do a visa interview. If you have a visa already, you still have to come to the embassy because it's a student visa. This is a little different.
This student says the session was helpful and impactful.
I think this college fair is a great idea because many students can benefit from this program, and they can also learn about the different colleges and what they have to offer, and they could also apply for a student visa at the US Embassy. So I do hope that many students can benefit from this program.
If you're a student and still in doubt about your next move after high school, you have options for support.
In fact, we are starting to partner with some of the institutions here to develop a program where the students can study a 4-year degree, 2 years of it online here in Tobago, and do their final 2 years in the United States.
For Tobago students, they need to complete CAPE for 2 years or A-levels, and we're looking for an 80%, which is equivalent to 2s and 3s in the CAPE curriculum. We do offer scholarships as well if they have 2s and 3s at 80%, and they're guaranteed to all students.
The college fair was hosted at the Pentecostal Light and Life Foundation High School. This was the first time it was held in Tobago. I'm Crystal George for Let's Talk Tobago.
And it's now time to have Your Say, the segment of our program where we hear what you, the viewers, have to say. We'll have a look at who had their say this week.
I want to ask question. What do you question? It was A.
Why are you spelling things?
That's a quick question. Nothing. That's not hold on. I'm waiting for the money for the question now. Today we're in beautiful Scarborough. The question is, why is it important to protect our coastline? This is what you had to say.
Coastline erosion is simple because of the rising at the sea level. To protect that is the number one thing, because just now, we ain't gonna get nowhere to live.
In most of the villages are located
on that said coastline, you know, because when you look at the road, especially going to country and even down at Shore Park here, you see the kind of erosions we get. If we unprotect it, you know, we might end up in the sea.
Once the coastline is secure, floods and other natural disasters by way of water can't affect the island. It's for the island's safety.
If it is that you don't protect your coastline, you're going to erode, because the majority of our roads pass along the coastline, right? Apart from that, there are many institutions, not only institutions, but maybe guest houses or hotels based there that are going to be eroded and probably destroyed if it is we don't protect our coastlines. So it's something crucial that we make sure that we protect our coastlines. It's something that we should cherish in terms of ensuring that we don't lose what it is we have, because we wouldn't be able to enjoy it as we know it to be.
The only thing can protect our coastline is the word of God. If we continue to pray and the word of God said that if my people who are called by my name shall open and pray and seek his face and turn from all wicked ways, he will protect us.
We close yet another edition of Let's Talk Tobago, and as always, we thank you for watching. Please email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like our Office of the Chief Secretary Facebook page, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. For more information on La Coterie Villa, you can contact Hove Estate Limited at 391-2073 or visit their website at www.ccuvilla.com. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and very productive week. We leave you with a montage of this beautiful property and its surroundings. Do enjoy.